welcome back to Maypole Farm, and starting off with a bit of multiplayer. So getting the beet harvesting contracts done, a mixture of beets and potatoes. These look like beets to me. This is some footage from Kartek. So I can't remember what days it was. Kartek knocked out a whole load of the contracts, and then I joined him, and then unexpected Bill joined us, and we finished off all of the root harvesting contracts. So that just left my sugar beet field waiting to be harvested as the only one on the map, which is a bit new for me. I've never had a whole map completely cleared. So just loading up with some milk now, and you can hear that going in the trailer, which is kind of weird. And got some kit on the way over from DS Agri because I'm doing some mowing in the next game day. So got the big butterfly mowers over. The old Deutz has come back with the windrower, and I've got the tedder over as well. So the plan is to silage the grass on the pasture, and that means after feeding tomorrow we'll be switching to TMR. So I need to get a TMR mixer sorted in October, or at the end of October, and I'm going to move on October 3, I'm going to move the cows back from grazing, mow what's left of that grass, because there is some grass there, and get that baled as well if they've left much at that point. There's a bit of a layer there at the moment that I could mow, so that's the plan for the future. And we'll just get this milk sold off. The plan for longer term on here, so I did the map tour of Glenleithen this week, and if you watched that, you'll know that I worked on some of the bits for it. I really like that map. So my plan, now I did say I was going to play out the year on here through to harvest, but I really want to get stuck into Glenleithen. So I'm going to do something slightly unusual. And the plan is, I think, so originally on here we were playing with no loan. What I mentioned last time is I'm thinking of adding in the enhanced loan system and getting rid of lease to own. That's what I've done on Saxthorpe, which you may or may not have seen before this video comes out. Let me just check my list. You will have seen that before this video comes out. You will have also heard me say on Saxthorpe about occasionally going to the Oaks on there. That's not going to happen on there for a little while, for the reason of what's going to happen on here. So the plan for on here is we've got a big field planted here. We've got a new field. We've spent a lot of money on it, so I don't just want to up sticks and move. Also, from a logistics point of view, I can't use Glenleithen for the multiplayer side of this until it's released publicly. So you'll notice I forgot to turn the conditioner on the front mower for that first run. So what I'm planning to do is we are going to kind of split this series at some point in the winter, not necessarily yet. I think I need to check the geo. I think we will have missed the planting window across in Scotland by the time, this late in the year. I'm not certain, but I think we have. So, but also the yard that I want to get on there, which was the one that was tucked away in the corner with an open cow pasture, I need to get some cow sheds built there. So I need to have a bit of work done on the yard, and then we'll be able to move the cows. So we're not going to be able to move the cows until spring anyway, probably. So what I'm thinking is probably in the next week or so we'll do a scouting trip across to Glenleithen. I will show you the farm that I want to get. We'll chat about the things I want to change on it, work out what fields I need to buy, and therefore how big a mortgage we are going to need to take out with the enhanced loan system. I haven't worked all of the details out yet about how this is all going to work. It's going to be a bit of a faff. What I'm half considering is that I will leave most of the work on here to DS Agri. What that actually means is I'll probably show less work on here and more work on the new farm as we go into next year. But I do want to, if I can finance the mortgage based off of this farm plus the new land, I want to keep this farm running until harvest. I think a bit of me says just load up a few lorries full of bales and up sticks. I don't know. I'm literally kind of thinking this through as I chat to you guys. My plan was that I would keep running the dairy here because DS Agri is going to stay here until the map's released. But a bit of me says we sell the dairy up and move. Yes, we're going from an Irish map to a Scottish map, but we could get a few low loaders in, load a bunch of bales up. That'll feed them through the winter. Don't know. I think the cow should stay here through the winter because we've got a plan to feed a lot of the maize silage through winter. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. Basically, I want to transport at some point this save to Glenleithen. And the time to have done that ideally would have probably been in September, apart from the fact that we haven't harvested our last field yet. I don't have a clue at the moment, if I'm honest, how I'm going to do this or what I'm going to do. But the intent is to move Maypole to Glenleithen and then carry on the kind of travelling through the decades. So I always let's talk about what I'm doing on the field for a sec. So I'm just setting up the tedder to semi-dry so that we can get more in the silage bales. So that's what I'm doing on there. The intent on here was always to move maps through this series. So my plan is that this is going to be a 10 game year series. We are in the third of those at the moment. So the years run August to August, which is slightly weird, obviously. That's how FS works. So the plan is always to move maps. And I really want to play on Glenleithen. And I'm not having a third Let's Play. So either we cut our losses and sell up here in the winter, move across to Glenleithen, because not a lot once we've harvested the sugar beets, not a lot is going to happen on here until spring. So I could do that in the background and then we could reappear on Glenleithen, but the DS Agri side would have to stay on Maypole anyway because the map's not released. So I'm 50-50. The other thing is that once we move to Glenleithen, because land is much more expensive there, we will probably all be based at the 1 yard. So I'll condense everything down and we'll have 1 yard where we're running everything out of until we've got more cash, and then maybe we can buy a separate yard for the contracting business. But initially we'll probably be based out of 1 yard. There's quite a lot of shed space on the yard that I've got in mind, so it's bigger than what we've got at the dairy, so we should be okay. Don't remember if there's a silo there, but yeah. So I have a vague idea that I want to start playing on Glenleithen. I want it to be a continuation of this. I just don't know how I'm going to make it work yet, is what I'm saying. I said, if it had been, it wouldn't make much difference. We needed to wait to harvest the beets, really. So, I don't know. I just don't know. So, yeah. Discuss in the comments or on Discord. One or t'other. So, yeah. What else is going on here? So, you may have spotted, if you're really eagle-eyed, on Simple Inspector, 2 of the tractors from DS Agri are running. They are carting the manure out of here because the manure pit was pretty full. I've kept the slurry. The slurry we'll use to fertilise some fields, I think. But the manure I wanted to get shifted to bring a bit of cash in. Didn't bring a lot in, but it brought some in. And so I had auto drive doing that basically while I was doing the grass work, because I wasn't actually. I'd taken the game off of the multiplayer server to record this. It's sometimes I find I get slightly better performance. So I took the server down, recorded this, and then I haven't actually put the server back up yet. Probably go up at the weekend. I might record another video, which is why I haven't done it. So. And the other nice thing is to do thumbnails if I'm not on multiplayer proper. I add in ProShot. I've edited ProShot to allow it to work in multiplayer, and that means I can get thumbnails easier. So that's one reason that I like to do it not on the server, rather than me randomly pausing the game for everyone. Yeah. Anywho, that's the tedding done. We're going to windrow it, but I'm not going to bale it today because I want to get the other field cut. So, and probably, if you remember me saying last time how I preferred the bales turned, and the DS Agri combi baler doesn't have a turner, I am seriously considering leasing a separate baler and wrapper. I can do bigger bales then. I can do 150 centimetre bales rather than 125 centimetre, and I can unload them in the way I like. Yes, I know I don't like change. No. Honestly, it felt like so much more work having individual bales the wrong way up. Now maybe I could drop them in pairs still, because I was kind of we did the last silage field as multiplayer, and I was trying to keep up with the much faster tedder and windrower. So maybe I could just use that and just do it slowly, and I can end up with pairs that are the wrong way up that I just need to flip over. That would be more sensible, because I wouldn't be spending money on leasing extra stuff. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. So many things I don't know what I'm going to do at the moment, you know. It's I'm putting an extra headland on here because I found it was really quite tight to turn around when I was doing the mowing and the tedding, so that's why I'm putting an extra headland on. Had to do all of the tedding and windrowing without GPS because I'm using the old Deutsche, I'm not sure. They don't have GPS, so no GPS on this. Yes, I know Saxthorpe was just a wash of Deutz, but you know, it's one of my favourite brands, and I've been using the John Deeres on here a lot. Obviously most of the farm is John Deere now, so I felt like using these old Deutzes. Just give them a run out. Nice easy jobs, and yeah, just what I felt like doing, to be honest. What else have I got to? Done a lot of map tours lately, obviously. I mentioned Glenleithen, mentioned Saxthorpe. I did have a request to do more, and I had a poll, and that also said to do more. Honestly, I'm not sure if I will. A lot of the time, the maps that I do tours of are if a modder has given me early access, and or I've been involved in doing stuff for it. And that's just because by the time a map's released on Mod Hub, and I've then got round to recording it, and then scheduling the video, the people that are interested are probably playing on it already, is kind of my view. Generally, I don't like to be recording videos that are released straight away. I tend to have a stack lined up. This week's been slightly different because or last week was slightly different because I have so getting about £2,000 per trailer load of manure. The 2 map tours I released like the day after I recorded them. That was mainly because interest was high for Glenleithan. There'd already been a couple of map tours out, and I wanted to do one that focused on the bits that I'd helped add to the map, but felt if I'd left it too long, I'd kind of missed the opportunity. And similar with Saxthorpe, so that's why they came out quicker. But generally, if you think mods release, for me, late afternoon normally. If I was going to make a video on it, it wouldn't be done until at least the next day for recording. And then by the time it's rendered and uploaded and YouTube has processed it, it's going to be like 2 or 3 days later, and then I have to rearrange all my schedule. I've been doing that this week. There's a video that I recorded several days ago. Actually, it should have been released several days ago. It now may not be out until after this video, and I keep bumping it for more urgent things like the 2 map tours. It's a video that can withstand being bumped, so you can just see one of the manure trays going off there. I want to check this field for lime. Oh, it needs quite a lot of lime. It's probably going to need nitrogen as well, because I'm going to put oats in there based on the assumption that I'm going to plant those fields. Yeah, it's a video that's got plenty of life in it. It's to do with silage compacting. I need to be mysterious at all. Yeah, so I'm going to let that grass sit. Basically, I want to mow the open cow pasture as well, and then bale it all in one go. So we're going to lime the new field and this field that we harvested last time. Get those ready to be planted. So the plan is to plant oats in here and barley in the big field, and then the field that has beets in, I'm probably going to plant with oats as well, so we get a decent crop of oats. I did say I was going to sell that far field, but I don't think we will. Just need to put that on automatic, because we can use automatic application now. And holding on to the land might give us... I need to have a look. I need to add enhanced loan system to here and have a look and see how much we can borrow, as to whether even this idea of having the 2 farms together is going to work. So it might be that we don't have enough capital on here to borrow enough money to buy the farm. If I do, what I was thinking in terms of equipment is I would take probably the John Deere, probably the Z-Tour, and whatever field working kit that I need from DS Agri, and then bring some of our old tractors back over to the yard to run that. So just got some more lime delivered to the farm. I have a bit of a faff here. I should have taken the front loader off, because the controls for the front loader interfere with the controls for the crane on the back. So a bit of a faff. Yeah, I'd probably bring some of the old tractors, so like the old Fiat. We've got the old Deutz here with the front loader as well, and they could be used to keep the dairy running while we get the new farm up and running, get feed sorted, because we're going to need feed over there. So it might be that we need to wait till first cut in spring to bring the cows over. Yeah, I'm just trying to think about what would happen in reality. Now, let's ignore the fact that we have to get the cows transported across the sea. That happens, you know, that does happen. So let's assume that's a thing that can happen. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't pack everything up and just roll out in one go. You know, you'd leave someone you trust to run this farm and go off and get the other farm established, get feed in, get the buildings how you want them, that kind of thing. I think now we could just load up a whole bunch of bales and take the bales with us, and we could sell the maize silage. So I have too many options in my brain, and the more I talk about it, the less clear it gets in my brain as to what I want to do, which is fun. It's a fun place in my head. But back to what we're doing. So getting this field limed. This needs a reasonable amount of lime. So this is the first time this field's been limed with automatic application. So the other field needs an insane amount of lime. Probably the most I've ever had to lime a field. It certainly feels that way. So close to finishing. It's a lot of lime. It's a lot of lime. The field is in a really bad state. Now, I guess that's probably, I don't know how precision farming tracks it, but when you start the game up, a base level is applied across the map, and it's generally quite low, as you will have seen if you watched the Saxthorpe video that came out. It's generally quite low, and then this field's probably been harvested at least twice, maybe 3 times. So it may have had 3 harvesting hits to its lime. So I don't know how that works with fields that you don't own, but you can see it's awful. We've got to add 1.125 pHs to the field. I wish I had gone and leased a big pull behind lime spreader. You will see in a moment. So we are pretty much full. So I came over pretty much full, and we're gonna hit go, and 10% gone, 20% gone. It's just flying out as we try and bring this field back to life. So and that's one of my dilemmas about just selling up, is I invest quite a lot in this field, to be honest, getting it limed. I think it was 18 bags of lime. It's not, I said quite a lot, that's a few grand's worth of lime. But yeah, I'd kind of like to farm this field. So I don't know. So you can see we're out of lime already. So going to be lots of refilling. I end up having to get 3 loads of lime delivered up to the field. We get through that much. It's yeah. Someone, and I don't remember who, it might have been Norfolk Farmer, reminded me that I think its Modelizer has the Paint and Terraform Anywhere mod, which I did have installed on here, and I should reinstall so that I can paint the driveway into this field, or the access way into this field. The game won't let me because I don't own that strip of land off of the road. So I'm really hoping you can't hear the lawn mowing that's going on. It's prime lawn mowing season here in the UK. It's been warm, and I don't know about other parts of the world. So we have in the UK, in some areas, we have 3 different bins for household waste, and one of them is for garden waste. And our local council had stopped collection of the garden waste because of cuts. But they hadn't really told everyone that they'd completely stopped. So everyone's garden waste bins are overflowing. And so they decided they were going to do 1 collection this week, and then at the moment they said they're never going to empty them again. So I think everyone in the last few days, because our household rubbish gets collected on a Thursday, which it is today. Everyone through this week has been mowing their lawns and doing all that so they can bung as much as possible into this this bin to get it collected. Ours ours just had a lot of grass in it, and because it's been in there quite a while, it's kind of squished down a bit. So I could just keep putting more and more in, and boy was it heavy to wheel out to the front, to the road out the front. I think our neighbours have labelled theirs as very heavy, so I think everyone's garden waste bins are going to be very, very heavy. I think they're very quickly going to fill their trucks up. So I think I've got a little bit more to do. So this is load 3 being delivered, I believe, of 6 bags. So I think I used 4 of these, so I had to come back up with the front loader and pick up the last 2. But I'm hoping that the beet field, field 16, it's field 12, I think. Yeah, field 12. I'm hoping the beet field isn't in too bad a condition, and the 2 bags we've got left will be enough to get that limed. We'll see how it goes. It would have been easier. I should invest in a big bag lifter on here, because it would have been this crane thingy works. But it would have been much easier to use the Z-Tour and the front loader to do this loading up. This was a bit of a faff. But it does work, and it's a way of being self-sufficient, but not just auto-loading stuff. So here we go, last little strip. I am going to say thank you to the patrons and the YouTube channel members. Appreciate you guys supporting the channel. You are all pretty darn awesome in my book. Also, I don't know how I've managed to make this video last another minute and a half, because we need to go get more lime. Oh, so much lime. I was watching a movie as I was doing this, so it wasn't so bad. I don't remember if it's on Netflix or Prime. It's called Luther. It's really good. Set in the UK, but written by Americans, I think, because almost every police officer was carrying a gun, which doesn't happen in the UK. So I don't think it was written by a UK author. I might be wrong there, but it had a definite American twist to it. But it's really good. It was kind of like a serial killer punter type thing. It's cool. I enjoyed it. Hadn't heard of it before. Was good. It was a really nice, it wasn't really nice, because it was a bit grim in places. It was a really good film to just have on in the background and enjoy while I did farming. So hopefully now 2,000 litres is enough to finish this little tiny piece that we have left to do. And then we'll be done. So I am now going to say thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, click the like button. Any comments, questions, suggestions, help me out with my dilemma about Glenleithan, stick them below, and I will see you next time on Maypole Farm. Probably for seeding, probably for baiting, definitely for farming.